With the Houston Texans versus Rams game coming up, I wanted to talk about some key focal points to look out for during this matchup. And yeah, you guessed it, we're going to start with the offensive line. This is the Texans Better Talk Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily Texans content. But let's just get straight into this, man. This is going to be trial by fire for Ersery specifically. Really, the whole offensive line, but specifically for Ersery, the only rookie on the line. Look, this is where the Laramie Tunsil trade might come to haunt us. Because, yes, Laramie Tunsil might have been traded for the right reasons. He might not have been the guy in the locker room. He might have been a loud voice that conflicted with other coaches. We know he didn't practice. He was a complete vet. That being said, if Laramie Tunsil is playing left tackle right now, I don't think we're as fearful of Jared Verse as we are currently. And I don't want to say I don't have any faith in Ersery, because that's not true. But damn, is this a difficult first matchup in the NFL to get if you're Ersery. Obviously, Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. He has elite strength as well as speed. Really a bull rusher. Almost kind of reminds me of Will Anderson. Something he talked about getting better at this season in his sophomore season was utilizing his speed more, which I find kind of insane since we all know he does have elite speed. Ran, I think, a 4.58 at like 260 pounds, something insane like that. Like, this is a bad man. He is good. And if he is adding more to his technique, if he's utilizing other rushes besides just, straight bull rushing, man, it'll be hard for Ersery to catch up. Now, look, Ersery has gone against Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter in training camp. Two very good edges to have to work on your skill with. He's been beat quite a few times by speed, though. Ersery is just a bigger guy. He's a bigger tackle. And yeah, you're going to get beat by speed. I'm completely expecting Ersery to have some welcome to the NFL moments. Just really quick, also wanted to quickly touch on Jared Verse's PFF stuff. And so we can look at that really quickly. So you can see overall grade 86.2, which was pretty high among all edges. And if we scroll down, you can see his pass rush grade, his run defense grade, his overall grade was 86.2, which was ninth. Like, yeah, the sack numbers weren't always there. 6 sacks, still nothing to scoff about, but overall, like, this is an above average edge rusher, the best edge rusher on their team, I would say. But I really don't want to just make this about Ersery, because I really don't believe that it is just about Ersery. I just did want to highlight Jared Verse. But moving on, let's talk about the rest of this offensive line, because the offensive line needs to get ready. This is probably a top 10 defensive line, like maybe a fringe top 10 defensive line you're seeing in the NFL. We've already talked about the Ersery Jared Verse matchup. What about Fisk as well, who made a lot of surprises? I think he had a 13% pressure rate at the D tackle position, which is nothing to scoff about. And Poona Ford, who they added this free agency from the Dolphins, he's a solid D tackle as well. And then you have Kobe Turner and Byron Young. Just Byron Young being another physical, really athletic edge rusher. Byron Young being a very solid D tackle as well. So this offensive line is going to have to get ready. I think this is the biggest weakness on the Texans team when they go into this game. We already know the Texans are 3-point underdogs-ish, meaning the Rams are expected to win by a field goal. And if you told me right now the Texans had an average offensive line showing against the Rams, I really think we win this game. I am just worried that this offensive line kind of that is hobbled together is going to get exposed a little bit in this game. But I will say it's good to have it happen early in the season. This is a very good D line, and who knows, maybe we have to make some changes to the protections. Maybe we have to start double teaming Verse or double teaming Young, whatever it is. We will learn a lot about this offensive line in this first game. So that's the first takeaway, is this offensive line has to get ready. And then moving on, we also need to lock down their weapons. Like, the offense is very good for the Rams, especially when you have McVay being your coach. You have Puka Nacua. They just picked up Devontae Adams. They signed that really weird, really expensive Tutu Atwell deal, 1 year, $10 million fully guaranteed for Tutu Atwell. So if McVay likes him, he likes him. I trust McVay, but that was kind of odd for the production that he showed. And then at the very right, you have Robinson. I'm forgetting his name. I think it's Demarcus Robinson. That's bad on me for forgetting his name. But he is about their fourth wide receiver in the lineup. And then we all know Kyron Williams, the fantasy monster, Blake Corum hopping in there, and then Tyler Higbee kind of coming off of some injuries, getting up there in age, but he's a solid tight end. Numbers didn't jump off the chart. Again, recovering from injuries. I'm not too worried about the tight end position. I am worried about Kyron Williams getting going, as well as Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams by far. That being said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I mean, our defense is elite. I think we can stop the run. I think we have 2 lockdown corners. One other thing to note out is I know McVay will target Petrie in coverage. That's just what he's going to do. Just expect to see Petrie getting targeted. Maybe it's Tutu Atwell. Maybe it's Devontae Adams getting the one-on-one with Petrie. Like, McVay will scheme it up. They do a lot of pre-snap motion. They make it easy for Matt Stafford to read the defense. Again, I think our defense is really good, but have to make sure that we don't let anyone have 120, 130 yards on us, even 100 yards. Like, we got to keep everyone locked down, and I think our defense can really do that. Moving on, we need to exploit the Rams' offensive line. I think it's kind of the similar story, just completely flipped. Like, the Rams' offensive line isn't amazing. Their center they picked up from Chicago, who I believe didn't even start last year, and Chicago had a terrible offensive line. You have Alaric Jackson, who's coming off a career high year last year, so that's good for him. He also had blood clot issues, I believe, but he is going to play. But I expect him to get tested really early by Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. I expect the center to get tested really early. And yeah, their offensive line isn't amazing. I don't want to sit here and say it's like bottom of the league or anything, but yeah, that center position could definitely get exploited, and then you just always are going to have to test these 2 tackle positions. Also, Matthew Stafford himself, we know he's older. We know he's not as mobile. We know he's focusing on that back issue. Or he's dealing with a back issue, not that he's focusing on it. But yeah, if you can get to Matthew Stafford, he's not as mobile as he used to be. He really was never super mobile. It's not a Lamar we're talking about. I think this D-line can cause havoc. And yeah, I think if we get to Matt Stafford, we'll be in a good spot. But finally, one last thing I'll say is, like, we cannot get out-coached. And what I specifically mean by that is get the ball out quick. This is a good defensive line we're going against in a maybe potentially not great offensive line that we have. Let Stroud call the protections, or have Kaylee call protections. Like, double team the guys who need to be double teamed. Just don't run at the monsters. If there's someone who's taking over the game, whether that's Verse or Fisk is getting a lot of pressure, like, just be on the move. Don't get out coached, and no stupid penalties from this offensive line. Really from the whole team, but specifically from this offensive line. Like, we will learn a lot about how this offensive line has changed, and I'm going to be looking at penalties. If I see several holding calls, I mean, seriously, it's going to really piss me off, considering we've literally completely revamped this offensive line. But those are some of the takeaways, I think, for this game. To summarize, I think, you need to watch those matchups on the offensive line. Make sure the offensive line can be serviceable. You need to attack their offensive line, and then just keep that defense being elite. And then I think we'll be in good shape. Hopefully we can kind of win, come up from under, and beat this Rams team. But hell of a team. McVay is one of my favorite coaches in the league, and I think it'll be fun to watch. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know if I missed anything that you're thinking about. Just let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.